Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin. Nabiyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. First, my teacher was that side, friends from University Care, fellow volunteers. Can you just be a little louder from the please? Sister Majni and her team, my co-advisor, Aziza. To all of you, special thanks for being here, for honoring me by your presence. And I would also like to have a special thanks to Sister Mamtaz. She didn't invite me to this program in the usual way. She went straight for the jugular. How did she do it? Doctor, can I have your topic? You don't think about whether you want to do it or not, like you just have to say, and I just spontaneously came up with this topic, tools in an MTP Volunteers box. At that time, I didn't have the slightest clue what this was all going to be. Maybe I know a little bit more now after reflecting since last night. As I told her, I'm always the night before person. I can't prepare 1 week before in advance. In exam school they call it the last minute marker. I'm one of those. But it has always worked very well for me. I hope it does it today too. So really thank you for being here. This is not our normal sharing session. We call this a sharing session because it's usually it's over a round table or we have a square format, and the main speaker who chairs the session makes a short presentation. Aziza, am I okay now, the back?
Yeah.
Okay. Short presentation, and then we have lots of discussion. Mamtaz, after looking at the numbers, doctor, does this point to a theatre format? I had to agree. But still, we need to have a lot of discussion. I'll try to explain what my understanding of this topic, and leave enough time for you to add your tools and share with us. I must also say a few things about myself. First thing is, I'm not a trainer, okay, which means you don't have to stand up every 20 minutes, breathe in, breathe out. It's not going to happen. I'm a teacher. Teachers don't do things like that. Only trainers are cruel, they don't let you sleep. Number two, it's now fashionable to talk about who are you a protege of. I'm not a protege of anyone, except my salute to my Ustaz and teacher, Dr. Syed Musa here. I'm a protege of all my fellow volunteers in this program. I've learned so much from you, and I'm actually sharing what I have picked up from you. So a lot of what I'm going to say is self-taught and whatever inputs you have given me over the years. I have been involved in this program for more than a decade now. In this masjid from the beginning, and earlier on at Masjid Negara. I still have my regular duties at Masjid Negara. Every Sunday morning I'm in the institution there. People want to see me, they know now. Dr. Mansoor go to Masjid Negara Sunday morning. So I've been doing this duty, and I'm also involved in other da'wah organizations outside of this too. So these keep me usually occupied. So that briefly is my background for this. Actually, I was very surprised. I didn't expect that to be so much interest in a toolbox. You know? So I think those of you who want to give future talks will get some good hints from what kind of topics you should have for the next one. I can suggest the next one should be about hammer, you know, hammering home the truth. Maybe it could be the next topic. You put, you know, Tawheed and Iman and all this, nobody is coming. Toolbox, there's a lot of interest. Okay. Normally we associate this term toolbox with certain professions. You know, the most common would be plumber, wiremen or electricians, carpenters. There are people in other professions also, they also carry some bag with a lot of the equipment, but they don't call it toolbox. They probably have more fashionable terms like cameramen, they carry a bag with lots of lenses and tripod stands and other things. The makeup artist, full of various kinds of powders and the creams and so on. So all kinds of professions have some kind of a toolbox. Okay? And normally what you find in the toolbox are hammer, plier, cut wires, tapes, rulers, and they all are usually very dirty. They don't look very clean at all. So that's the nature of the work they do. But this is what we see, the visible part of the person carrying the toolbox. But there is an invisible part of the person carrying the toolbox that we do not see. What is this invisible part? That is when a plumber or an electrician comes to the home with his toolbox, he is also coming with knowledge and skills to diagnose and to do the job, to execute the job. We don't see that. Okay? Everyone, it's not anybody can carry a toolbox and can walk into a home or office and get the job done. He has this knowledge. He also has the skills. We don't see it. It's only when we tell him this is a problem, when he starts working on it, you know that he's applying a particular part of his knowledge, a specific skill that he has to solve that problem. Okay? In the same way, those of us who are in this program, we come into this program with what I would call varying degrees of ignorance about Islam. I wouldn't say very deep knowledge, I prefer to be a little more humble. We come into this program with varying degrees of ignorance about Islam, meaning especially knowledge of Al-Quran and the authentic Hadith. Alhamdulillah, one of the things that you will find is, once you get into this program, the process starts of increasing your knowledge, increasing your skills, and you will find to the new volunteers, you will find many of our senior volunteers, even though they have been in this program for many years, they are still attending, tafsir classes, Arabic classes, Quranic classes, Sirah classes. They are still there. I think you can go within Kuala Lumpur, if any one of these classes are going, if you go there, you are likely to find a fellow volunteer inside there. Especially if you are in Taman Tun area, go to Yayasan Ta'lim, you will see so many familiar faces in that program. So this is a healthy sign, this is an ongoing, continuous learning, what our founder, Father Bob, calls CIP, continuous improvements in the program, and this we must do. We must not be frozen where we are. I think that I'm a Muslim, I know enough Islam, I can talk to the tourists, so Kachan very easy for me, we should not have that attitude. This is constantly we need to upgrade our skills. So, what actually are the tools that we need that goes into an MTP volunteers box? The first part is an easy part. These will be what I call the hard tools. There are basically 3 hard tools you need to do well in this program. If you don't have, please invest in it. It's worth every amount of investment that you put into it. And And this is an investment you will find, inshallah, in Akhirah multiplied manifold, because you are investing fi sabilillah. Okay? And don't expect the program to furnish you with this. Have your own. Have your own. It's not very much. Okay? The first tool that you need is what I call a mini amplifier. Some of you many of you would have seen this, especially tour guides. They will have something stuck on their pouch here, and they speak with this to their tour groups. And we used to have our own, we had 3. Yeah? Can't hear you, Manji. Yeah, can. Why I emphasize this, majority are not using it. Please get into the habit of using it. You will see now, if you go to a lot of these nikah ceremonies, the juru nikah, they use this. It's a very small thing, and it's enough to cover the hall. It's not very bulky. They're getting smaller and smaller. If you go to Jalan Fudu shop around, you should be able to get one for about 80-90 ringgit. It's not more expensive than that. But make sure you buy one that has a slot for you to plug in your pen drive. If you recorded something from elsewhere that you may want to play to your tourist visitor, an ayah of the Quran or a particular talk, whatever it is, you can have it recorded, plug it in, and then you can broadcast it through this. Why? I'm not happy with this.
Yeah, she's bringing.
Why I emphasize this is increasingly this masjid is becoming the masjid of choice for group visits. There's hardly a month passes when we are not having group tours. Alhamdulillah, the response from our volunteers is fantastic. You don't get this anywhere. I mean, last week, 54 visitors, 18 volunteers. Fantastic, And the common practice is to divide them up into small groups, 10, 5, or whatever it is. And when you are addressing these groups, using this is very beneficial. Your voice comes across more clearly, you command the attention. Those who are getting distracted are kind of forced to look at you, to listen to what you're trying to say. Because I've been in the prayer hall. Sometimes I see a group of 10, and our brother volunteer is leading the group, and he's saying something, and I was just standing in the second row. I couldn't hear what he's saying. And the third row, I think they were just kind of nodding just to be polite. They were just nodding. I mean, I couldn't hear, I was in the second row. So whatever he was saying, only the 3 or 4 people in the front row would be picking up. So invest in this. You will have a lot of opportunities to use this. And it's not very expensive. Please don't say, why don't the MTP group, you have a lot of funds, why don't you use it? It's not a question of no money. There is plenty of money. But it's better for you to own your own, because you might come on a day, somebody will say, I can't get into VIB, so I can't pick it up. Or, the group already here, but this thing has not been charged. Something or the other. So it's too much of a hassle. Have your own. If you know you're going to be involved in one, you will have it ready before and at your home and bring it along. And you'll find other uses for it. I use my mini amplifier for many things other than working in a masjid now. So please invest in a mini amplifier. The second hard tool, I would advise you to get a little bit more expensive, but in the long run, it's worth it. Get yourself a tablet. You know, this smartphone, whether it's 7 inches or 8 inches, is still not good enough. Get yourself a tablet. You know this, you all know this saying, a picture is better than 1,000 words. You know, you can be standing in the prayer hall and you can be talking to, this Islamic calligraphy, Allah's names and all that. Imagine if you can simultaneously show, say, to a group from China, these are examples of Islamic Chinese calligraphy. And if you have 5 people, a 10-inch tablet would be enough for them to have a look at it. Your small smartphone is difficult. At least a 10.1-inch tablet. Make it a part of your equipment that you need to do this job. I mean, you're pointing to the minbar. Most of the time, there's nobody giving a talk there. There's no khutbah going on. But if you have a group from China, there are no less than 3 videos on khutbah, Friday prayer khutbah in China, in the new G Mosque. They're all 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You can have it downloaded and then show them in your own country. This is what happens on Friday. Or there's one on in the Tokyo Central Mosque. There's one video on the Friday khutbah. If you do some little research, you can, not more, they're all 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute videos. But it will be very powerful. Very powerful. And so invest in a tablet. I'll tell you the prices of a decent one. I don't get any commission, Samsung. A 10.1 tablet costs about 1,200 ringgit. May seem a lot, but I tell you the long-term benefits of this investment is really worth it. And you can put it for so many other users at home or elsewhere. But for this work, it will be fantastic. It will be really fantastic. You show them, this is the mihrab, we face the direction of the sacred mosque. It's still difficult for them to conceptualize what you're talking about. You come down, remember earlier I showed you a big poster downstairs, that's a place. Imagine in your 10.1 tablet, you're able to actually show what is happening. You can actually show live what's happening in the Kaaba. There's this Haramain websites. They get, this is where you face. The impact is so powerful. It can be calligraphy, it can be what happens in the minbar or in the mihrab, or even prayer demonstrations. Sometimes you are the one, you don't have anybody to demonstrate. You can actually show it. This is what actually happens. So I can go on and on about the advantages of equipping yourself with a tablet to discharge yourself in this, to discharge your tasks in this program. So don't think about the money. Every cent you spend in the way of Allah, you'll find it easy. Because He doesn't need you. The third one, which you all have, but don't put it to very good use. This is your smartphone. This should not be just used for your private communication, must be an integral part of the work that you do, using this smartphone intelligently. One big use of the smartphone now is taking photographs of visitors. Every day I see, and I have to be honest with you, most of the photographs are terrible. Why? Nobody has, I made a big noise about it 2 years ago, so it was some improvement. But people have forgotten it, and now they're all back to the bad old days. Most of the photographs looks like photographs you find in secondary school magazine. This is the lineup of prefects, this is the captain of the Blue House team and his committee, this is the library committee, this is teachers.